If you need emotional help, ask. Now, for a lot of people, it isn't something that we like to talk about. Whenever we're angry, whenever we're depressed, whenever we're sad, we might mention it. We might mention it on Facebook or we might mention it to friends or whatever, but it's really hard to get down to the root of our sadness, our depression, our frustration, our anger. But these emotions, if they're allowed to build up, can compose a quite terrible life if we're not willing to let them out and talk with them about other people. Now I see a lot of people on Facebook or in public or even people that are my friends say I'm feeling sad right now, and then they'll be like, oh, I don't know why, but we always, well, not always, a lot of the time we do know why. Now if you're schizophrenic or suffer from major depressive disorder like I do, then sometimes the why is chemical imbalance. But most of the time in society, the case is something is depressing you. You're not feeling the connection that you need to the rest of the people around you. Now, human contact, human honesty, human understanding is very important to live a fulfilled life. And a lot of the time, we don't say what we feel or we don't talk about the reasons why we're feeling a certain way because it's awkward. We don't really know how to explain it. Or we have pride where, we think that we're better than what is inhibiting us. We're better than the emotion that's breaking us down. And we have to get over that pride. We have to get over that awkwardness. And fear of rejection is probably the main one that I'd say. You're afraid, well, I've had times where I've been afraid to explain my problems because they felt like something other people wouldn't understand, and any advice that I wanted or any helping ear that I seek to gain felt like it would be rejected just because either it's not understood or somebody wouldn't understand who I was and who I am. The who is a big part of it. We don't let our person that we keep inside out very much. There's a lot of people who say that they are completely themselves in society. They wear their heart on their shoulder, but we hide many things from people, and we fear rejection for a lot of the personality traits that we keep within, that we keep locked up inside our hearts, inside this mask of this body and this persona that we kind of fall into. It's not necessarily always a decision that we fall into this persona, this person that we are, but it is something that holds us back. And having an ego, having a persona in society can help us have proper exchanges, can help us talk to people, can help us relate to people. But getting deep down to who we truly are, a lot of people don't even do that with themselves because they take on the personas to such a degree. And we have to get rid of all of these things on the outside and really become vulnerable with other people every now and then. Once we find people we really want to talk to about who we are and how we're not feeling satisfied or why we're sad, why we're depressed, what we feel like we need and what we feel like, we wish was out of our lives. Now, it isn't easy to ask for emotional help for these reasons, for emotional aid. It can be one of the biggest challenges of our lives to admit that we have a problem and we need help. I still have problems with it now, and I've been through plenty of therapy. I take medication, for God's sake, and I've gone through a lot of spiritual hardships to get to where I am now, and it's still hard for me sometimes. I'm not perfect. But if you need emotional help, ask. For God's sake, ask, because there is nothing, well, there are many things sad in this world, but it's one of the sad things that inhibit humanity is the most beautiful people who need specific help with their problems lock themselves away so that they don't expose that beauty within, and then eventually all the frustration, anger, pain, depression, loneliness eventually just blows up, and people like that self-destruct. Not all the time, but quite a bit of the time, and it's unfortunate because that is a waste of a human life. That is a waste of of all the efforts you did before, all the efforts that people around you put into you. It's a waste, and really, it doesn't really get you anywhere, in my opinion, because I believe in reincarnation and karma and rebirth, afterlife, things like that. But that's a whole nother topic. And, of course, I'm talking about either suicide or just becoming emotionally and mentally despondent. It's a shame to lose a human being. It's a shame to lose anyone to a mental disorder or a mental state if you're just so sad or so depressed. when you could have just asked for help. So if you need emotional help, please ask, because that's what we're all here to do on this planet, is to help each other, to relate to one another, to truly get as close as we can to one another so that we can move forward as a single humanity without all these lines that people place. And a lot of the time we place our own lines around our persona, and we keep everybody out. We create these walls. We create walls around our person, and we try to guard our most vulnerable parts, and we don't bring those out. But we have to bring those pieces out. We have to share them with people and to experience what it is like to be who we truly are. And if we are rejected, if there is rejection that comes at us because we share a piece of ourselves that somebody didn't agree with, then it's easy to get torn up about it. But instead of doing that, move on. If you feel like they had good advice, then maybe you should develop past whatever weakness you had. But if you really feel like that's a part of yourself, and that person was just tearing into you and not accepting who you are, then move past it, move forward, and try again. Try again and again and again to ask for help and show yourself. Be vulnerable with people that you trust, of course. At any rate, if you have any questions, comments, concerns that you'd like to place in the comment section below, feel free to do so. Of course, if you have any really personal questions that you want to ask me specifically, feel free to do so on Facebook at www.facebook.com/hunter.salazar. That is my Facebook. Feel free to contact me if you need to, and I try to be here for as many people as possible because I've been through a lot of these things. So hey, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to support me on Patreon as well if you want to at www.patreon.com/darkrealist, capital D, capital R. And I only ask for $1 a month for my Patreon, access to my Patreon account, and some also private videos that only people who pay that $1 a month get. And of course I take more money if you want, however much you want to donate. It's really a way that you can show your appreciation if you want to go that route. Of course I appreciate likes and comments, and that helps quite a bit as well. At any rate, I hope that you found this interesting and useful, and I hope that you find yourself, and I hope that you ask. If you need emotional help, ask. Thank you very much, and all of you, have a great day.